Cats steal babies' breath. Cats are super dangerous for unborn babies and you must rehome them. Cats and babies can't cohabitate. These and many other horror stories can be found on all sorts of mommy forums. So what did I do with my cat when I read all of those? Got her a buddy, of course. And here is why. Welcome to Mother Thinks Best, where I, Liz, talk about all sorts of things that pique my interest as a mother of two, content creator, and a scientist. So, are cats and babies a match made in heaven, or should parents be worried about all sorts of injuries, allergies, and fur flying around? Today we're busting myths, exploring science, and discussing everything you need to know so you can make an informed decision as to whether you do or don't want cats around your babies. There is no shortage of fear-mongering around cats and babies, and in fact, it starts even before the baby is born. It's not hard to find advice on the internet telling pregnant moms to get rid of their cats because they can contract all sorts of horrifying diseases, which will inevitably result in losing their baby. But is that so? Let's examine the facts closely. Now, the disease that everyone is primarily worried about is called toxoplasmosis. This is also where the advice of pregnant women shouldn't clean litter boxes comes from. So yes, it's true that technically cats can be carriers of toxoplasmosis. However, let's examine how they contract the disease more closely and what happens after that. To contract toxoplasmosis, cats need to first eat raw meat or prey. So automatically, this means that indoor cats or cats that are contained to a property even on commercial foods are at a very low risk. When a cat first contracts the disease, it sheds the parasite's eggs in its feces for about 1 to 2 weeks. So see, the shedding period is really brief to start with. The shedded eggs only become infected after 24 to 48 hours. This means that if you're cleaning your litter boxes once a day, especially if you're using protection like gloves, your chances of even coming in contact with an active egg are extremely low. Furthermore, it's important to know that cats are not a long-term source of the parasite. Even if you have a roaming cat, after the initial infection and shedding period, a cat's immune system usually develops antibodies against the parasite. This means that cats are unlikely to shed the infectious eggs later in life, even if exposed to the parasite again. So to put it simply, unless you leave the cat's poop in the litter box for a couple of days to really brew, and then take it with your bare hands and shove it in your mouth, your risk of contracting toxoplasmosis this way is incredibly low. Sure, use protection if you want an extra peace of mind, even ask someone else to clean their litter boxes if you're freaking out. However, it's most definitely no reason to get rid of your beloved pet. And to put it into even more perspective, you are far more likely to contract toxoplasmosis from things like undercooked or raw meat, unwashed fruits or veggies, gardening without wearing gloves, or even drinking unfiltered water in certain areas. Another myth which makes new parents really anxious is this old wives' tale of cats stealing babies' breath. This idea originates from European folklore, and it likely has to do with the fact that in the past cats were often seen as mysterious, even supernatural creatures. As a result, people believed that they could become jealous of babies or attack them for some magical, sinister reasons. Cats might have been attracted to the warmth of the baby's sleeping space. This could have unfortunately coincided with babies perishing from unrelated reasons, but then the blame would be placed on the cats. So no, cats do not steal babies' breaths. They seek warmth and comfort. All you need to do is to keep the cats out of your baby's sleeping space. Another massive worry about raising babies in households with cats has to do with allergies. As for a very long time, we believed that having pets in close proximity to small children can increase their risk of developing asthma, allergies, and other respiratory illnesses. However, the latest scientific discoveries actually tend to show quite the opposite, and babies exposed to cats and dogs in early childhoods are in fact shown to have stronger immune systems, reduced incidence of allergies, and even have less asthma. What's even funnier is that the more domestic animals they're exposed to, the bigger the effect can be, and this is sometimes referred to as a mini farm effect. We don't have a full explanation for this effect yet. However, something that comes closest to it, in my opinion, is a so-called hygiene hypothesis, which theorizes that we have over-sanitized our environments as modern humans to the point where our immune system lacks training essential to prevent allergies and other unpleasant reactions. An important distinction here is that it doesn't mean that we need to live in filth, as extremely poor, unsanitary conditions actually worsen health. However, factors such as having pets around seems to boost that essential immune system training and exposure to multiple microorganisms and factors. For example, pets like cats and dogs carry microbes from outdoors and their own microbiomes, contributing to a varied microbial environment. And this diversity may help babies develop a more balanced immune response, which reduces their likelihood of developing allergies or asthma. And timing of exposure also seems to matter, with encounters in pregnancy or infancy having bigger impacts. This comes with an important caveat that if your family already has a strong history of allergies and you as parents react strongly to cats and dogs, then it's probably not the best idea to gamble this. At the same time, I can't imagine that you would suddenly get a cat if you already cannot tolerate them in your environment. Potential allergy prevention benefits are not the only ones that having pets such as cats around can provide, with some research also showing that cats help teach empathy and provide that comforting presence. They basically become tiny furry life coaches. Okay, we have pretty much established that there is no need to get rid of your cat. But now what? Because this does not cancel preparation, such as letting the cats explore your baby's environment, letting them into the nursery to take in new scents and become less anxious, and also just keeping things as stable as possible because cats do hate change. I would like to add some stuff from my personal experience. First of all, in my humble opinion, as someone who has had multiple cats and is a massive cat lover, if you do not already have a cat, please do not get one. There is this really weird idea that getting a kitten or a puppy is like super cute and will make the baby and the little animal bond for life. And while it sounds amazing in theory, I can promise you that all it will do is overwhelm you, add even more onto your plate as a new parent, plus actually result in a really stressed animal. Kittens in particular deserve a special mention because they're incredibly high maintenance. They are basically like babies themselves. They need to play a lot, they have lots of energy. They can have instinctual destructive tendencies just because they will try to play with everything. And they sleep much less than older cats, meaning that they will be up to their shenanigans while your baby is potentially asleep, and it can be disruptive. Do your family a favor and wait a few years. I will say that I broke this rule myself. When I was about 8 months pregnant, we got a cat for our cat, not a kitten, a 7-month-old cat, so essentially a teenager, but it was a very niche decision based on these two cats' personalities, and also us getting really lucky in a sense that it went exactly as we have predicted. Would I recommend it? Absolutely not. Another tip, especially if you have multiple cats, is getting microchip cat feeders, which ensure that only a specific cat can open a specific food bowl. The ones we have are called SureFeed, and at the time of purchase they were the only ones on the market. However, I did a quick search and it seems like maybe their patent has run out or something else happened, and it seems like there are alternatives, so do your research. These bowls are super easy to train your cats with. They will only open for the cat with a matching microchip. If they're not microchipped, they do come with collar tags that you can use instead. This gives you ultimate peace of mind about feeding your cat, especially if they're on different foods or one is a glutton and another one is shy. But also, when your baby gets older, it means that the baby isn't able to easily get into that food bowl. And trust me, the baby will want to. Personally, 10 out of 10 would recommend. And another tip is immerse yourself in cat-positive content and aim to understand your furry friends better. On YouTube, I can recommend Jackson's Galaxies content, especially around cat behavior and catification of your house. I will say he does have some like ultra crunchy beliefs. Like he sells really weird crystal-infused sprays. He is also really violently no compromise against commercial dry pet food, which in my personal opinion is a more nuanced topic than that. But his cat behavior stuff about how to best interact with your cat and how to set up the best environment for them is fantastic. There are also some nice positive accounts on Instagram that depict a family living with cats and babies growing up with cats. One I can recommend is Mama and Meow. She has, I think, 4 cats in her family and shares lots of tips and different products and just cat positive content that will help you get into that headspace and not dread dealing with those difficulties. And speaking of difficulties, even if you love your cats, even though you will absolutely love your baby, it's going to be a difficult adjustment for everyone, but I promise you, with the right mindset, you'll get through it. So my overall verdict is this: cats and babies can be the perfect pair, offering health, love, and so many cute moments. Once you separate facts from fiction, that is. If you're a parent who is also a cat lover, share your experience and tips in the comments below, and I'll see you next time!